Good afternoon, everyone. It is a beautiful Monday. Okay, it is 2:15 p.m. here in Augusta, Georgia, and I hope that you guys are having a great week. That you have a great week. Okay, it is Monday, and I'm coming to you guys with the Empire's edition, and today it is all things Trump. Mm, mm, mm. He is at it again, people. He is at it again. We're gonna dive right into this. Trump repeatedly says the blacks in shameless exploitation of legal rules to woo African American voters. In a brazen display of political manipulation, former President Donald Trump took to the stage at the Black Conservative Federation Gala in South Carolina, using radically charged rhetoric and shamelessly attempting to forge a connection between his multiple criminal indictments and the historical struggles of Black Americans. The twice impeached and four times indicted former president is facing 91 felony counts, including racketeering and conspiracy to obstruct justice. A New York jury determined that he should pay nearly $90 million for sexually assaulting a journalist. A judge has ordered him to pay about $500 million in penalties for committing massive business fraud. Yet Trump boasted about his legal battles, suggesting that the Black community supports him because they identify with the discrimination he claims to face. This is quoted, and he is saying, I got indicted a second time, a third time, and a fourth time. And a lot of people say that that's why the Black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. Trump declared, callously drawing applause from the audience. Attempting to eloquent his privileged legal battles with the systematic oppression endured by Black Americans throughout history, Trump has inserted, I think that's why the Black people are so much on my side now, because they see what's happening to me happens to them. Does that make sense? Ooh. Throughout the evening, Trump continued his disturbing narrative, pointing to his mugshot from the Fulton County election interference case as a symbol embraced by the Black population. My mugshot. We've all seen the mugshot, and you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The Black population. It's incredible, he remarked, exploiting the image for political gain and suggesting that African Americans are particularly familiar with mugshots. In a tasteless attempt of humor, Trump made radically insensitive comments about the brightness of the lights on stage, stating, these lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there, but I can only see the Black ones. I can't see any white ones, you see. That's how far I've come. That's how far I've come. The remarks played into racial stereotypes, leaving some on stage uncomfortably laughing. I'm not even, this is disgrace, disrespectful, and y'all can like him if you want to, but I hope you don't. That's just my thoughts. It really is. They're also saying that Trump supporters target Black voters with faked AI images. Donald Trump supporters have been creating and sharing AI-generated fake images of Black voters to encourage African Americans to vote Republican. The BBC Panorama discovered dozens of deepfakes portraying Black people as supporting the former president. Mr. Trump has openly courted Black voters who were key to Joe Biden's election win in 2020. But there's no evidence directing directly linking these images to Mr. Trump's campaign. The co-founder of Black Voters Matter, a group which encourages Black people to vote, said that manipulated images were pushing a strategic narrative designed to show Mr. Trump as popular in the Black community. A creator for one of the images told the BBC, "I'm not claiming this accurate. The fake images of Black Trump supporters generated by the AI are one of the emerging disinformation trends ahead of the U.S. presidential election in November. Unlike in the 2016, where there was evidence for foreign influence campaigns, the AI-generated images founded by the BBC appear to have been made and shared by U.S. voters themselves. One of them was Mark Kaye and his team at a conservative radio show in Florida. They created an image of Mr. Trump smiling with his arms around a group of Black women at a party and shared it on Facebook, where Mr. Kaye has more than 1 million followers. As it looks real, but on a closer inspection, everyone's skin is a little too shiny and they're missing fingers on people's hands. Some telltale signs of AI-created images. I'm not a photojournalist, Mr. Kaye tells me from his radio studio. I'm not out there taking pictures of what's really happening. I'm a storyteller. So, you guys let me know your thoughts. I really would like to know your thoughts. He is doing some outrageous things. There is a turnout gap between white and Black voters, and it is growing steadily. The difference between white and non-white voters have grown over the last decade. A report released Saturday from the Brennan Center for Justice found, and a major contributor appeals to a superior court decision weakening the Voting Rights Act. Their findings of the report have sparked fears about the health of American democracy from experts at the Brennan Center, a left-leaning think tank that analyzes voting rights, elections, money in politics, and more. It is just not acceptable to have a democracy that not only sees lower participation from voters of color, but where that gap in participation is consistently growing. Wendy Weiser, vice president for the democracy at the Brennan Center, told NBC News. The sheer magnitude of the racial turnout gap, I think, is alarming and should alarm all of us. This report said that the growing racial turnout gap is in part due to the Supreme Court of 2013 decision in Shelby County versus Holder, which suspended Section 5 of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. The racial turnout gap is growing most quickly in parts of the country that were previously covered under Section 5, the report found. Section 5 was a measure that forced jurisdictions with a history of racial discrimination against Black voters to seek approval from the Justice Department for any changes to voting laws or processes. The factor that sort of those roles and are actually being marked as a driver of that turnout gap was whether or not a country was previously subject to federal oversight under the Voting Rights Act before the Shelby County decision, Weiser said. The new restrictions on voting that have passed across the county since the Supreme Court case are significant contributors to that turnout gap. Sorry about that, folks. We've been documenting a huge spike in restrictive voting laws across the country. The laws and the voting restrictions that are adopted pile on top of each other, Weiser said. Standing alone, each restriction might have an impact that's hard to assess or measure. But as they start piling on, she says, you might be able to see whether or not they're having an impact on the voting process. And that impact the report found is presented across the U.S., not just in counties that were previously covered by the Section 5. Across all the regions, the racial turnout gap was higher in the 2020 midterms than in any midterm election since 2006, the report said. Between the 2018 and 2022 midterm elections alone, the turnout gap grew by 5%, 5% points between white voters and non-white voters, and it grew by 8 points between white voters and black voters. Specifically, researchers found Kevin Morris and Corin Gage, the report's co-authors, emphasized that the number of non-white voters staying home has a power to change the elections. And it does. Please, please vote for who you believe will do the better job. Just please. We need to go out like we did for Obama. No matter who you are voting for, your vote matters. Don't think that it doesn't. Because it's, ooh. And this is for your future, for your future futures of all the children that are out there in this world today. We need you. We do. So that is all for today, folks. Thank you as always for liking, subscribing, and listening to the Umpires. I am so tongue-tied today. The Umpires edition. Before I do get off of here, guys, I do want to let you guys know that $1 at a time productions, you can call 706-294-1152 for your tickets. I do have some available, so please, guys, please come out. This is a worthy cause. If you love to fellowship, if you love to listen to gospel music and be inspired and fellowship, and just, there will be vendors. There will be food vendors, product vendors. So you guys come out and support a worthy cause. Again, this is the 5th annual Gospel Choir Fest, and it is going down March the 23rd. Tickets are on sale for $12. I have about 10 to 14 here. So guys, please reach out if you would love to come. Again, this is a remarkable event, and this will happen again every year. God willing, there will be no more COVID. But this is the 5th annual Gospel Choir Fest, an evening of praise, worship, and song. The location is 2610 Milledgeville Road, Augusta, Georgia, 30904. That location again is 2610 Milledgeville Road, Augusta, Georgia, 30904. And this was the formerly Murphy Middle School for us Augustans out there. Okay. The time is 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Make sure you get your tickets. There will be a $500 cash blessing to the highest praise team or choir or group, and a free, recording session. So please register your choir or gospel group today. There'll be food, vendors, prizes, and praise. Again, that number is 706-294-1152. Promoted by $1 at a time. Tickets are on sale for $12. As always, be bold, be beautiful, and be blessed. Guys, thank you so much for listening to me, for your comments on all of my platforms and on here as well. I appreciate it so, so much. It just motivates me to be more articulate, because we all have our flaws, right? I'm not the best speaker in the world, but every day I am growing, I am learning, and I'm going to be that speaker in the making, okay? So you guys take care. Have a lovely Monday.